This lesson is starting our lesson on volume. You're going to start getting a lot of formulas thrown at you on volume and a lot of different type of shapes. Here's the notes that we took on volume of prisms. And I wrote in here, do not confuse the height of the triangular base with the height of the prism. Your base has to have a top and a bottom. It can't have the three sides. Those are your sides. The base has to, the figure has to sit up on it, and it has to have a top and a bottom. Let's start with our definitions. A prism is a three-dimensional figure with at least two parallel congruent faces called bases that are polygons. The volume of a three-dimensional figure is the measure of space it occupies. This is measured in cubic units. So if I have a rectangular prism here, okay, it's three-dimensional, it has a length, a width, and a height, that becomes three-dimensional. B is the area of your base. This is a big B, okay? This is the area of your base, which is usually length times width. So the formula for this rectangular prism is length times width times height, because your big B is length times width. And then you have your H, which is height. So a lot of times we do say it's length times width times height. But on your formula chart, you're going to see the big B. Remember, that is the area of your base, which is length times width. So this is your base, your big B, and your height. The rectangular prism, oh, that's what we just did. Okay, we're going to skip down to the triangular prism. Triangular prism, remember I told you the base has to have a bottom and a top. So this triangular figure right here is your top or your bottom, but it is a base, along with this one as a top and a bottom. And that's the way it's going to stand. It's going to stand on the base. And when you have a big B, your big B is the area of your base. Well, your base is a triangle figure, so that the area of your base is going to be base times height and half of that. Half base times height. I like to say base times height divided by 2. But that's just the area of your base. So remember, that is your big B. And then you have to multiply it by your H. Now the height of your base is always going to have your right angle. Your right angle. The height of the prism is going to be right here. Okay? So that is your H. So big B times H. And remember, this is 1/2 base times height, which is a little b. Okay? Those were the notes. On number 6, since we cannot get you to show your work, we've tried an answer document. You're going to write the formula here, show your work here, and write your answer here. Okay? So for number 1 of your prisms, it's going to be base times height. And remember, this is the area of your base, so it's going to be your base, or length times width times height, or base times width times height. As long as you're getting these 3 measurements in your base, okay, those are your base, and this is your height. So on your answer document, you're going to write area equals big B H. Then you're going to say 5 times 10 times 7. Show your work. and then you're going to write your answer. Well, I know 5 times 10 is 50 times 7. So if you just show some of your work in this compartment, that's great. We would like for you to show every single bit of it. If you make a mistake, we can look here and show where you made it. And you're going to have to do that in high school anyway. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2, again, area. Oh, I'm on area in a different class. So we're doing volume. Whoop, I'm so glad I caught myself, or I know someone would have caught me. Okay, volume equals big B H. Now remember, when we're looking at number 2, this is a triangular base. How do I know this is my base? It has a bottom and a top. Okay, it's going to stand on the triangle. When you set this figure up, it's going to be the triangles down and the triangles up. You have a top and a bottom. So the base is a triangular figure. But remember, for the base of a triangular figure is 1/2 base times height times the prism height. Okay. She also showed you in class on your notes, if you would just do length times width times height divided by 2, that could be used for this. It all works the same, okay? So my base and my height of my prism here would be 6 times 8 divided by 2 times the height of the prism, which is 12. Okay, show your work, give your answer. Number 3, again, has a triangular base. These are a base and a top, bottom and a top. This is your sides. Don't get it confused. The height of your base will always have the right angle. So again, volume equals big BH. It is a triangular figure. So base times height divided by 2 times the height of the prism. So 3.5 times 2 divided by 2. It's going to go back to 35. And then I'm going to multiply it by the height, which is 4.2. And see, I didn't put my decimals in there. I knew that wasn't coming out right. So that has a decimal there. I could bring the decimal here. Decimal, decimal. Okay, so multiply your decimals out. And when you're multiplying decimals, it doesn't matter how you line them up as you're multiplying. Put the decimals in when you get finished. You have 2 decimal places. And all of your answers, like your answer over here, should be feet cubed, meters cubed, inches cubed. Okay? So there's help on 3 of them. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask them on Google Classroom.